battle footage with an Army investigation and a personal crisis. As the movie opens, Washington plays an Army colonel.
We now join the
tank
following
force in the
program,
Gulf
already
War.
in progress.
In the confusion of battle, his group mistakenly fires on an American tank.
Over. We just lost Cougar 6 to repeat.
Roger that, we got him.
Say again, you just lit up a friendly.
I heard you, what?
You just lit up one, damn it.
Saber 6, Dad, what's happening out there?
After the war, Washington blames himself for the error, but his commanding officer, played by Michael Moriarty, has shelved the case.
Now, Lieutenant Boileau's tank was hit by uranium-depleted shells. We are the only country in the world that uses them. We got these reporters from the Washington Post sniffing around his parents looking for the truth, and the only person that knows the truth is not allowed to say it because these investigators are dragging their backsides. Someone has got to be accountable for this.
The Army wants Washington to investigate an act of battlefield heroism that might lead to the first Medal of Honor ever given to a woman for conduct during combat. The woman, played by Meg Ryan, commanded a helicopter in the war.
Unhook the ox, feel better, port side. Get ready to push it overboard.
Push it overboard, ma'am?
Hilario, unhook the flare gun.
What the? It's a bomb!
Then the Huey circles back over the tank. That's when they threw something overboard.
Pick your moment!
No!
Meanwhile, the survivors of Meg Ryan's crew tell wildly different stories about what really happened. And one of them, played by Lou Diamond Phillips, makes a shocking claim.
Don't get in my crosshairs. Do you understand me?
She was afraid, Colonel.
What's interesting here is the way the different versions of the past are intercut with the very confused present life of the Denzel Washington character, who is guilt-ridden, confused, and drinking too much. He's under a lot of pressure because the White House desperately wants to award this Medal of Honor to a woman. And the way the two stories come together is original and dramatic. Courage Under Fire is a fine film.
Oh, I think it's a really fine film, and let me credit the screenwriter because it's a very complex story. Patrick Shane Duncan. He also wrote, I couldn't believe it, Mr. Holland's Opus. Now, these are two wildly different stories, and he does them both beautifully. Edward Zwick is the director. He directed Denzel Washington to an Oscar in Glory.
Yeah.
He's going to get a nomination for this. Washington is one of our most charismatic actors, and we are interested in him. Most directors, I think, would have cut out that backstory of the personal crisis that he had and said, let's just tell the Meg Ryan story.
That's what I liked about the movie.
I love it, the complexity.
Just, they don't dumb it down into what really happened there on the battlefield.
Exactly.
But the question is, the question of what happened is inextricably involved with the question of how he can regard himself as a military officer.
And here's where the title cuts two ways, Courage Under Fire. The courage that is on the battlefield is one thing. It's instantaneous. You can make an instantaneous mistake. The film is very smart about that. But the courage under fire of pressure to get to the truth and your own truth.
And his whole career and his personal life are all at risk here, and he still stands up.
Okay, next movie. And our next film is a real discovery because of the fine quality of its writing and its presentation of some bright new faces. It's called Walking and Talking, and it's about the friendship between two close young women friends who are turning 30, and when only one of them becomes engaged, well, that puts a lot of strain on their relationship. Here's the scene where Amelia, played by Catherine Keener, learns that her lifelong pal, Laura, Ann Heche, is engaged.
Wow. You're engaged? Wow, that's unbelievable. That's great news.
At some level, Amelia is actually delighted that her girlfriend and her fiancé, played by Todd Field, do have some disagreements.
I'm touched. Listen, Frank, did you call the guys that you said you were going to invite?
No.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
I mean, why not? Why didn't you do it?
Because I did, and I'll do it. Shut up about
I'm
it.
not going to shut up about it. Look at all...
You guys fight? Cool.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Now, with the wedding approaching, Amelia feels pressure to have a relationship. Still, to her, a goofy clerk at her local video store doesn't seem like Prince Charming. He's a terrific character, played very well by Kevin Corrigan, who had bit parts in Goodfellas and True Romance and is an actor to watch.
You're a writer, right?
Yeah.
How's it going for you?
Badly. Starting to think I should learn how to operate a forklift or something.
Walking and Talking was written and directed by Nicole Holofcener, and her sensibility makes this picture stand out with its emphasis on pointed silences and glances between the characters. Nicole Holofcener is a filmmaking name to take note of, and Walking and Talking is a good film that I hope doesn't get lost amid the crush of special effects extravaganzas this summer.
Boy, I agree with you, Gene, and I especially agree about the acting. Now, you take Catherine Keener,
right,
who's the brunette.
Yeah, Amelia.
She has a scene very early in the film that made me notice her because she's meeting her friend at a restaurant where the friend is flirting with the waiter.
Right.
And she's talking, and she looks up as the coffee comes and then looks back again. And that little second alerted me to something. It was so realistic. I realized this is an actress whose acting is almost transparent. It's completely unself-conscious.
Right.
I always felt as if I was looking at a real person on the screen. I never, and then I began to notice that in the other performances too. For example, the video store clerk.
Right.
That guy could have easily been a caricature, and he is absolutely convincing. And when he takes her along on that date to the famous Monsters of Filming convention, you realize how much women have to put up with guys who want to inflict their hobbies on them. I mean, all of that.
You're crediting the actors, and I already did that. Credit the director for lingering, to have the courage to linger, to leave the camera on the actor to display that. We're talking about precious seconds in editing that American movies too often rob us of.
Well, I think that actually if it isn't there in the actor, you can't do it with editing one way or the other. You have to credit these people for really being unaffected and convincingly natural actors.
But just let them show what they have, their talent.
Oh, I will do that. When we come back, Trainspotting, the rough and wild movie about violent young rebels in Scotland.
Choose your future. Choose life.
Pardon me.
Grey Poupon, available in a squeeze bottle.
Well, we're here with Wanda and Babs, who feel that their zipper bag is fine and will not switch to Gladlock zipper bags.
That's right. Ditto.
Now, Babbo, let's say you hold some of your famous chicken gravy upside down over Wanda's head, sealed in either your bag or the Gladlock bag with the yellow and blue make green seal, so you know the bag is closed. Your bag doesn't have a green seal.
Well, I say let's go for it with our bag. Why switch? 'Cause it's my head. We'll switch to Gladlock.
Good call, Wanda. When it really counts, get Gladlock.
I know they want to do well when I'm on vacation, but I hope they don't give it away.
We're giving away sofas, desks, work centers, mattresses, a massage recliner, entertainment centers, a complete cherry dining room, and more. Register to win free furniture at any showroom. Since the boss left town, the prices went down. This Claybrook sectional with multi-pillow back is $5.29. Right now, this Styline sectional is reduced to $6.69. We do sell sectionals at American Furniture Warehouse.
On July 20th, join Channel 7 for an incredible evening of competition. Drum and bugle corps from around the country will be in Denver, giving it their all at the 25th Annual Drums Along the Rockies. This event returns to Mile High Stadium with the Blue Knights hosting world champions like the Cadets of Bergen County, Madison Scouts, Blue Devils, Santa Clara Vanguard, Troopers, Colts, and Velvet Knights. It's an incredible show, so get tickets at Ticketmaster or call 424-6396.
For this you will need one room which you will not leave, soothing music, tomato soup, 10 tins of, mushroom soup, 8 tins of, for consumption cold, ice cream, vanilla, 1 large tub of, magnesia, milk of, 1 bottle.
An Edinburgh drug addict lists all the supplies he'll need in order to get off heroin, he hopes. His name is Renton, and he's had plenty of experience at this. He's played by Ewan McGregor, and Renton is the hero of Trainspotting, a gritty new movie based on a hard-boiled, best-selling novel by Irvin Welsh. The movie follows the story of Renton and several of his friends, most of them drug addicts, as they lead lives of chaos, sickness, desperation, and a certain amount of defiant amusement. Renton describes his friends, including Sick Boy, played by Johnny Lee Miller.
He came off junk at the same time as me, not because he wanted to, you understand, but just to annoy me, just to show me how easily he could do it, thereby downgrading my own struggle.
A somewhat healthier friend is Tommy, played by Kevin McKidd, who, during this brief period when his buddies are clean and relatively sober, tries to introduce them to the great outdoors.
It's fresh air. Look, Tommy, we know you're getting a hard time off Lizzie, but there's really no need to take it out on us.
Doesn't it make you proud to be Scottish?
Hey, being Scottish. But the law is to the law. The scum of the earth.
The most wretched, miserable, servile, pathetic trash that was ever shot into civilization. Some people hate the English, I don't. They're just wankers. We, on the other hand, are colonized by wankers.
When he's not on heroin, Ritton is a relatively cheerful and optimistic type who tries to charm a girl he meets at a nightclub.
What's your name?
Diane.
And where are you going, Diane?
I'm going home.
Well, what's that?
It's where I live.
Great.
What?
Well, I'll come back with you if you like, but, like, I'm no promising anything, you know?
The movie's underlying appeal is its humor and the way the characters find a way to laugh even in the face of despair. Sometimes, though, the laughter fades and the horror of the drug life takes over. There's a particularly scatological scene early in the film that will amuse some audiences as Ritton loses drugs in a toilet and dives right in after them, but by the end of the film, Trainspotting is revealed as essentially an anti-drug object lesson built around some engaging performances. Not a great movie, but a good movie.
I thought so at that level. Just a good movie. I know there's a lot of acclaim. It came out of the Cannes Film Festival with a lot of people talking about it. And I enjoyed it. At the same time, I think the film flips around a little bit between how much it is showing the joy of the lifestyle as opposed to the downside of the lifestyle.
It doesn't have a clear point of view, and it doesn't have a clear director's hand to really make these people come alive in 3 dimensions. It seems like it's little bits and pieces, little anecdotes and glimpses of a life, and at the end we want to know, we feel like somehow there's just not quite enough there.
Right. Still, I guess, thumbs up from both of us. Coming up next, the best-selling children's novel, Harriet the Spy, is now a movie.
Why do you come to Mile High Flea Market?
They have a lot of things out here that we can't find in the stores at a better price.
It's a great way to have fun with our kids.
Come on, dolls.
You want to go on those?
Instead of going to yard sales and stuff, you get everybody all in one place.
For the smoking deals on tools.
You name it, you'll find it right here.
Whether it's great bargains, fabulous food, or a day of fun, you'll find something for everyone at Colorado's largest flea market, Mile High Flea Market. Open weekends and Wednesdays year-round at I-76 and 88th Avenue.
So you guys have to feed the cows first thing in the morning?
Yeah, most of the time.
They get their breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you always get your breakfast in the morning?
Not always.
Would you ever have breakfast for lunch or for dinner, maybe?
That sounds good. Fine.
What about pancakes for dinner?
Like IHOP's gourmet pancake breakfast for $2.99. You get harvest green and nut or banana nut or country griddle cakes with eggs, bacon, and hash browns for just $2.99.
Breakfast is a pretty important meal, don't you think?
As my mom says it, breakfast feeds the brain.
It might be smart to have it for lunch or dinner.
Yeah. Get all A's.
Carpet Exchange has more colors, more choices, more selection. Now save on wear-dated carpet. Beautiful today, beautiful tomorrow. Carpet Exchange. More carpet for your money.
7 Doppler Max sees farther than Super Doppler, has 500 times more power than Double Doppler. Lightning fast, pinpoint accurate, down to the street where you live. No other station has it. 7 Doppler Max, only on 7 News.
Everything I can, and I write down everything I see. Goldie says, if I want to be a writer, then I'd better start now. Which is why I am a spy.
That's Michelle Trachtenberg as Harriet, a precocious 11-year-old girl who fancies herself a journalist in training by spying on friends and neighbors and keeping a detailed diary of her thoughts and observations. The character of Harriet the Spy comes from a novel by Louise Fitzhugh that's been a bestseller for 32 years. The movie has been put together in a most confused fashion so that the seriousness of its themes is, I think, muddled. Blame it on the director. Here's our introduction to Harriet as she observes the goings-on in a neighborhood Chinese grocery.
And tattoos. Girl on a leash. Man, if my parents ever tried putting me in one of those things, I'd trade them in.
And here's her nanny called Golly, played by Rosie O'Donnell, who may make a good talk show host, but her acting seems like nothing more than speechifying with heavy messages.
That downstairs, well, your dad has a high-pressure job.
What's a high-pressure job?
It's when you don't get to do what you want, and when you do, you don't have time to do it.
The centerpiece of the story is when Harriet's private journal, detailing her candid and often unflattering assessments of her classmates, is discovered by a snooty girl. Harriet becomes an outcast at school, it's up to her nanny, not her parents, to provide some help.
You wrote down the truth in your notebook, and your friends who weren't supposed to see it did. Now there are only 2 things for you to do, and you're not going to like either one of them.
Like what?
Well, you have to apologize, and you have to lie.
Oh, how I wish the storyline of Harriet the Spy were as simple as what I've just told you. Unfortunately, the story of the movie is repeatedly interrupted with a number of poorly constructed and awkward scenes involving goofy adult neighbors and Harriet's uptight parents. A better directing job would have clarified or maybe discarded one of these characters, and we would have ended up caring a lot more about Harriet and the important life lessons that she learned. It's a disappointment for me.
I agree with you. The story is very meandering. It's all over the map, and, you know...
There isn't an adult character in here that's credible at all.
No, well, not the parents, or even the interior space of the parents' house, which doesn't look like it's big enough to have a nanny in it, frankly. It looks like it's got about 1 bedroom. But apart from that, I mean, that's just silly. The movie doesn't have the kind of imagination and originality that we expect after seeing movies like The Secret Garden and The Little Princess. It's just kind of disorganized. It's kind of blah. There's just not much there.
And again, we don't get close enough to this character because we're always being taken away from her with silly stuff.
Independence Day is setting all kinds of records at the box office, but Gene and I both gave it thumbs down. When we come back, we'll take another look at the summer's biggest hit.
HBO, Bronx, The Kingdom. Eric Clapton. The Who highlights Quadrophenia. Bob Dylan. Alanis Morissette. The MasterCard Masters of Music concert for the Princess Trust. Coming soon. HBO. Smashing.
MBA from Harvard. Very impressive.
Thank you.
And your qualifications, Mr. Plotz?
Here you go.
Very impressive.
My resume?
No, your breath.
Want the ultimate fresh breath? Try Breath Savers with its refreshingly cool minty core.
As I always say, Klutz, MBAs are a dime a dozen, but a man with good breath, now that's hard to find.
Breath Savers with the core of confidence.
If you watch our program regularly, you know how Gene and I feel about the weekly announcements of the so-called box office winners. We think it's a mistake to treat the movies as if they were some kind of sport with the top grossing picture as the week's champion. But the lists march on, and this week we all heard about how Independence Day beat the opening week record set 3 years ago by Jurassic Park by grossing more than $100 million in just 6 days. What made it so special? Independence Day was essentially a retread of The War of the Worlds, an H.G. Wells science fiction story that was made into a famous radio broadcast by Orson Welles. In that story, as in this one, Earth is attacked by hostile aliens and fights back with a virus they're not familiar with.
Where are they heading?
They should be entering our atmosphere within the next 25 minutes.
Flying saucers 15 miles wide hover over Earth's major cities, and the human race has to decide quickly how to defend itself.
They're positioning themselves all over the world, using this one signal to synchronize their efforts. Approximately 6 hours, the signal's going to disappear and the countdown's going to be over. And then what? Checkmate.
The humans in the movie are assembled like one of those platoons in a World War II picture where you had a nice ethnic balance. We have a WASP president, a Jewish communications ace, and his stereotypical father.
Mr. President, Julius Levinson.
A black fighter pilot. A drunken crop duster. And, of course, a slightly mad scientist.
The last 24 hours have been really exciting.
But it's the special effects that audiences have come to see.
Time's up.
Gene and I both voted thumbs down for Independence Day, but we didn't hate it. We just didn't think it was very good. It was kind of a goofy, silly, clunky 1950s flying saucer movie attached to a high-tech and truly brilliant advertising and promotional campaign. TV stations actually sent news crews to interview the people standing in line, talk about a non-event, And so even more people turned up, and it did become an event. Now, Gene, I was reminded of the opening day of Star Wars in 1977 when people stood in line, and that surprised the theaters. They weren't expecting them to stand in line.
So then it was a news event.
Yes, and after the movie was over, people came out and liked it so much, they got back at the end of the line. The difference is, I don't think after seeing Independence Day once, very many people are going back to stand in the line
Yes,
again.
although we are saying this is a second look at Independence Day, neither of us went back to see it a second time, did you?
Oh, I would rather not see it a second time. I think one time was enough for both
Here's
of them.
Here's the problem, because I felt that there wasn't enough payoff. Of course I like seeing the big ship come across the planet. But I like
there are some good shots in the movie.
Shots. Not a single character they're all laughable, and and not laughable, I wasn't getting the joke many of the times. And then the payoff with the aliens, here's where I felt disappointed. I invest it's a 2-hour and 22-minute movie. I invest a couple of hours. I want to get to know the aliens. I want to see what they can do.
Those aliens were right off the shelf. Those aliens were recycled out of other movies.
And that
Octopus Man, the Octopus Man.
That's
How about
what
some
got
imagination?
That's what got me angry. That's when I said, no, you haven't. I've given you 2 hours of my life. Give me some time in a screenplay and some imagination in the characters that make it all worthwhile. Coming up next, our video pick of the week. You want action this summer? This pick has action to spare.
Got any Tylenol, Jill?
When did you switch to Tylenol?
When my doctor told me some pain relievers could irritate my stomach.
Really? Pain relievers?
Yeah, my doctor said that aspirin and even ibuprofen can sometimes irritate your stomach.
Oh, no kidding.
But Tylenol doesn't, and it works great.
To avoid the chance of stomach irritation, Tylenol is the pain reliever recommended most by doctors.
How's your stomach?
Stuffed.
Oh.
Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
MBA from Harvard. Very impressive.
Thank you.
And your qualifications, Mr. Plotz?
Here you go.
Very impressive.
My resume?
No, your breath.
Want the ultimate fresh breath? Try Breath Savers with its refreshingly cool minty core.
As I always say, Klutz, MBAs are a dime a dozen, but a man with good breath, now that's hard to find.
Breath Savers with the core of confidence.
Your car's finish has lots of enemies. Pretty soon, you need the better get Mako guys.
Get our great-looking Mako Ambassador finish for one low price, only $189. Call Mako today.
Mako, America's smart choice.
So you guys have to feed the cows first thing in the morning?
Yeah, most of the time.
They get their breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Do you always get your breakfast in the morning?
Not always.
Would you ever have breakfast for lunch or for dinner, maybe?
That sounds good. Fine.
What about pancakes for dinner?
Like IHOP's gourmet pancake breakfast for $2.99. You get harvest green and nut or banana nut or country griddle cakes with eggs, bacon, and hash browns for just $2.99.
Breakfast is a pretty important meal, don't you think?
As my mom says it, breakfast feeds the brain.
It might be smart to have it for lunch or dinner.
Yeah. Get all A's.
Today, 7 News gives you more at midday. More news with Lynn and Wade. More weather with Brian. Your only 7-day forecast from the 7 Doppler Max weather station. Watch 7 News take the lead at midday with a full hour at 11 today.
The Century Plaza, offering the finest in luxury service in Southern California style, adjacent to Beverly Hills on LA's fashionable West Side. The Century Plaza Hotel and Tower, a Westin hotel.
Summertime movies traditionally are action-filled, and if you're looking for some entertaining no-brainer action to stare at home, check out Jackie Chan's Rumble in the Bronx, just released on home video. Chan, the Hong Kong action star who does his own stunts, plays a freelance good guy who comes to the rescue of a pretty young grocery store owner who finds herself under attack from neighborhood thugs. What I like about Jackie Chan is that he's so eager to please. Every minute he's on the screen, he's either smiling or kicking. Rumble in the Bronx has no aliens, no impossible missions, but it does have a human tornado, and that's Jackie Chan. And Rumble in the Bronx is a goofy, cheerful introduction to his talent. It's my video pick of the week. Now let's recap the movies we reviewed on this show. 2 thumbs up for Courage Under Fire, with Denzel Washington on the Medal of Honor case of Meg Ryan. 2 more thumbs up for Walking and Talking, a fine first feature about friendship and jealousy and growing pains by Nicole Holofcener. 2 thumbs up and a mixed review for Danny Boyle's Trainspotting, the bold and groundbreaking film about today's youth in Scotland. It's a raw look at rebellion and addiction. And finally, 2 thumbs down for Harriet the Spy, a badly directed adaptation of a best-selling children's novel. So the pictures we really like are Courage Under Fire
and Walking and Talking.
Very
Yes,
good.
2 good movies. That's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of more new films, including the comedy Multiplicity, starring Michael Keaton as a workaholic who clones himself so he can have some quality time with wife Andie MacDowell, and also Kazam, starring basketball superstar Shaquille O'Neal as a 3,000-year-old genie, a very tall one. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
Starkist tuna in pitas, salads, and subs. It's a taste for the times. Charlie not included. Sorry, Charlie. The Iced Teapot by Mr. Coffee. The easy way to enjoy fresh brewed iced tea, made just the way you want it. The Iced Teapot.
Your arthritis pain can't wait. Call now and break through to fast-acting, long-lasting relief with Menthicin.
If you're 50 or older, AARP has benefits created just for you. Join now for just $8. Call 1-800-293-3900.